हरिहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। वंदितु सौ सिद्धे ध्रुव चलमणो वमम गदिम पत्ते वो छामी समय पाहु मिणमो शुद्ध केवली बणिदम। नमः समय साराय स्वानुभूत्या चकासते चित स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावांतर छिदे। Samaysar ji, Acharya Kunkun Dev's treatise, commentary by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev, and last week we had completed verse number 11, okay, where it was said that the conventional viewpoint concerns the unreal, abhutar, non-existent, whereas the pure viewpoint, Shuddhanay, concerns the real, bhutar, existent. That jiv that takes refuge in the bhutar is real samyak drashti. And then of course we discussed the example of that katakfal medicine, where the water becomes clear. And we also discussed reference of verse number 4 also, uh, obscuring the soul. So if at one point of time you can highlight one thing, right? So if you are highlighting the pure soul, then other things get obscured. And if you highlight other things, then the pure soul gets obscured. Okay. So today we will be starting with verse number 12. Okay. We are on to page number 142. Page number 117 in the text, Hindi text. English is 142. Yeah, next page. Yes. Now this question again arises when Samyak Darshan arises only through the support of the Shuddha, pure viewpoint, and not through that of the Vyavharne, conventional viewpoint. And since, therefore, for those who are seers of the inner self, Pratyak Atmadarshi, those who have connected to their pure self, those who have completely engrossed themselves in the pure soul, the Vyavhar Nay is not worthy of being followed. Then why indeed is this Vyavhar Nay taught at all? If my job is to be accomplished by taking shelter in the soul, pure soul, and that is done through pure viewpoint, Nischay Nay, real viewpoint, then what is the use of Vyavhar Nay? In answer to this question, it is stated in the 12th Gatha that the Vyavhar Nay too is at times purposeful for certain individuals. Therefore, it is not to be completely rejected. For this reason, its exposition is also found in the Jinvan. So, Vyavharne has got its all own importance, and we have earlier also seen through examples that if you want to cross the river, you have to board the boat, and then when you reach your destination, you have to leave it also. And then one more example of the soap, that to wash the clothes, you have to apply the soap, and then you have to remove the soap also to get the clean cloth. So similarly, to reach to the pure viewpoint or the real viewpoint, we have to use the conventional viewpoint. So conventional viewpoint is an integral part of our knowledge, and we cannot discard it. Okay, we cannot reject it. We cannot leave it. It has to be, it has a place in this Jinwani, because it is the Vyavhar Nai that takes you along to the Nischay Nai. Okay. So it was written that certain individuals. Now, who are these certain individuals for whom this Vyavhar Nai is purposeful? Okay. So that is what we are going to discuss here in this particular verse. The Vyavhar Nai for whom and when it becomes purposeful is precisely the central subject of the 12th Gatha. For whom and when, okay, it becomes purposeful. So this is all about verse number 12. We'll see the Hindi meaning also. Yes. First, I would like to read the Prakrit and then the Hindi. Shuddho Shuddha Deso Radhavo Param Bhav Darasihim Vyavhar De Siddha Purna Jedu Apar Methida Bhave परम भाव को जो प्राप्त है वे शुद्ध नय ज्ञातव्य है जो रहे अपरम भाव में व्यवहार से उपदिष्ट है. So this was the Hindi, and prior to that was the Prakrit. So we will read the straightway the meaning of the English, and it's the whole page, the next page. Okay. And who will read today? I don't see Jinali joining for a long period of time. Rajeshri ji, you continue.
Sir, I'm not in India,
Okay,
so
okay.
I will not. It's
Okay,
too much.
okay,
It's
okay.
late, very late here, sir.
Good that you have joined, huh?
Yes, sir.
Really good. Okay, Jinpriya, you read.
Okay, sir. For those who have reached the pure viewpoint, become firm in belief and attain the fullness of the knowledge and conduct. The Shuddh, which teaches the pure Atma, is to be known and relied upon. Those Jiva, however, who remain situated in a imperfect state,
Aparambhav.
Aparambhava, who have not yet reached the complete state of belief, knowledge, and conduct, and who are still abiding in the stage of spiritual practice, are to be instructed through Vyavahara Naya. Acharya Amrita Chandra clarifies that the purpose of this katha in Atmakyati as follows. Those persons who experience the supreme state of object like pure gold that has emerged from the final firing do not experience the inferior or intermediate state like impure gold being refined through the successive stages of the first, second, and other firings. Therefore, for them, the pure standpoint which expounds the pure substance and illuminates the unwavering, indivisible, single-natured state Akant Akhand, Ek Swabhav Rupa Bhava is understood to be supremely purposeful like a single highest colored stripe. But those persons who experience inferior and intermediate states like impure gold being refined through the succession of first, second, and other firings do not experience the supreme state like pure gold that has emerged from the final firing. Therefore, for them, the conventional standpoint, Vyavaharanaya, which expounds the impure substance, Ashuddha Dravya, and illuminates many differentiated states in the form of distinct individual modes. Binna, Binna, Eka Eka Bhava, Rupa Aneka Bhava is at that time understood to be purposeful, like a variety of multicolored garland sequence, because such indeed is the arrangement of the Tirtha and its fruit Tirtha Phala.
So this is what our syllabus is for the verse number 12. So in this Gatha, two words are used and those are very important. One is Parambhav and then another is Aparambhav. Parambhav means supreme state and Aparambhav means non-supreme state, imperfect state. Okay. And Parambhav you can take perfect state. Okay. So this verse says that much, that the question was why this Gatha was written, that if Vyavarnai is to be discarded, then why use Vyavarnai at all? So the answer says in this verse that in the previous verses also it was proved that although Vyavarnai is worth renouncing, but still it serves the purpose that takes you towards the real viewpoint. Okay. So that is the purpose of the conventional viewpoint, to take you up to the real viewpoint. And real viewpoint's job is to discard the conventional viewpoint, and that is inbuilt, that is a part of their function. Okay. So there is nothing wrong in it. But in this verse, it says that why Vyavarna is required at all. So then it says there are two scenarios. Those seekers who have reached the supreme state, for them, Vyavarna is no more required. But those who have not reached the supreme state, for them, Vyavaharnai is required. Okay. Now, who have reached the supreme state and who have not reached the supreme state is explained by an example of gold. So gold, if you see the gold mines, gold comes out of gold mines. And when they extract gold from that gold mines, it is along with mud. It is not that you will get 1 gram gold together. No, it will always along with mud. In fact, it will be like that if you take a punch of say 100 gram, chances are like that 80 to 85 grams would be mud. Only 20 grams will be gold. And if you want to derive that 20 grams gold out of it, then you have to heat it up. So the moment you heat it up, the impurity moves away. It gets burned, but the gold never gets burned. It is the quality of the gold that it always remains pure. It never gets burned up. So what will happen, all the muds will get burned, it will go away, and you will get pure gold. But after a certain level of heating, and those are called firings. So in case of gold, we consider the gold which has passed through 16 firings is absolutely pure gold, 24 karat. Okay. And those who have not reached that 16 level firing, below that are all situated in the Aparambhav, non-supreme state, imperfect state. So for them, this conventional viewpoint is purposeful. Okay. So it is purposeful for certain individuals, and that's why it has got a place in Chinmani, is a part of the very right Samyak Shrut Gyan, right scriptural knowledge. Okay. It's a part of the right scriptural knowledge. So it is only discarded when you reach to real point of view. Otherwise, it has got its own importance, own purpose, and it has got a place in Jinwani because of that. Okay. This is in nutshell what the Gatha says. Now we will see word by word the Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev's commentary. Very interesting. I'll just explain the 2 paragraphs and then we will further read into this verse. Those persons who experience the supreme state of the object, okay, like pure gold that has emerged from the final firing. Sword wall, 16th one. 16th firing is called the final firing. Do not experience the inferior or intermediate state. Inferior and intermediate states are a mixture of gold and mud. But this final stage, after the final fairing is pure gold. Not a single % of impurity exists in that 24 karat gold. Okay. So, do not experience the inferior or intermediate states like impure gold being refined through the successive stages of first, second, and other firings. Therefore, for them, the pure standpoint, which expounds the pure substance, pure soul, and illuminates the unwavering, achalit, unwavering, then indivisible, akhand, then single nature state, achalit, akhand, ek, swabhav, रूप, single natured state, okay, is understood to be supremely purposeful. Okay. So those who have reached the supreme state, for them, this conventional viewpoint is of no use. Okay. Because they have reached the highest level, the pure state, absolute pure state of gold, and which when you put it into the soul's, in the example of soul, then the soul who has manifested omniscient knowledge, okay, the 13th stage. So there you don't require vyavahar nahi, any nais, because it is omniscience knowledge. So nais are required when there is not omniscience knowledge. When the omniscience knowledge is there, so it is not that. So this supreme state and the non-supreme state has got 3 distinctions that we are going to discuss later on. So that point of time we will see. Okay. So supreme state can be expressed in 3 ways, and the non-supreme state again can be expressed in 3 states. So that's the next part where we will be studying about that. But before that, let's understand this example. Therefore, for them, the pure standpoint which expounds the pure substance and illuminates the unwavering, indivisible, single-natured state is understood to be supremely purposeful, like a single highest colored strip. Okay. But those persons who experience inferior and intermediate states, like impure gold, being refined through the succession of first, second, and other firings, do not experience the supreme state like pure gold that has emerged from the final firing. Therefore, for them, the conventional standpoint, vyavahar nahi, which expounds the impure substance. So, although they say impure substance, but the substance never becomes impure. Okay. So, this is again a conventional statement. Okay. Just because there is impurities in the modification, that's why it is called the impure substance. This is a conventional statement. From the real point of view, the substance never becomes impure. Okay. And on that basis, we are putting in efforts to experience that pure soul. Okay. If the pure soul would have become impure, then there was no point in making effort. Okay. But the pure soul has never become impure. The modifications have become impure and the modification wants to become pure. But the object of vision, where we need to focus, where we need to establish oneness in it, is always pure. Never impurity has set in it. Okay. So, but here the conventional statement that says that impure substance. Okay. For them, the conventional standpoint which expounds the impure substance and illuminates many different states in the form of distinct individual modes. भिन्न भिन्न एक एक भाव रूप अनेक भाव is at that time understood to be purposeful. So the conventional viewpoint illuminates many different states in the form of distinct individual modes. We are going to have a very detailed explanation on that. Just a minute, a few. Yeah, I'll mention 5 points for this conventional viewpoint for this non-supreme state. Okay, but here it is mentioned in short. It illuminates many different states. Okay, so the Vyavarna illuminates many different states in the form of distinct individual modes, is at that time understood to be purposeful because they have not reached the supreme state. No, so for them it is understood to be purposeful, like a variety of multicolored garland sequence, because such indeed is the arrangement of the tirth. Now, what is this tirth? Tirth means spiritual preaching. You can write it down. Tirth means updesh, spiritual preaching, and its fruit, tirth phal. What is the fruit of this spiritual preaching? The experience of the soul. You can write down both the words, tirth and tirth phal. Tirth is a spiritual preaching and tirth phal is experience of the soul. Okay. Below that, there is another 2-line verse is written, which
Sir,
is
kindly excuse me. Afterwards, if possible, Hindi may what they told afterwards. Can you share it, please?
for Hindi. You can attend the I have to take that book. No, I don't remember everything.
Okay, I will. Okay, sir.
You
I
manage,
have to
no? You
start.
manage, no? And if you have any question, we can connect one-to-one. Okay.
Okay, sir. No page.
So what I would
because
suggest, before the class, you come prepared, you read the Hindi one 2 times, 3 times, and then you read the English one. Everything will be cleared. Okay.
Okay,
Just
sir.
because you know Hindi, you will be able
Yeah.
to pick up. But that
Okay,
much
yeah.
effort you have to put. Okay.
Yes. Okay,
And
sir.
English we will be covering in the class. Okay. So what is this tirth and tirth phal? They are also using Hindi words nowadays. Earlier it was decided that they will use only the Hindi words in the bracket and the English words will be in the flow. But this particular Samaysar, they have resorted to earlier ways. Then somebody is always guiding them. So then I leave it and let them do whatever they do. And this is enough that I'm able to teach you. Otherwise, it would not been possible without textbooks. Okay. So we are very grateful to that team. I would like to introduce one day, Varsha ji Pancholi, then Samir ji, and then one Sanjay ji Kataria. These 3 are right now working round the clock. Now, Samaysar 26 to 49 is going on. Okay. Because next sem we are going to study that. So that is going on. And so a lot of things going at the back in the behind this course. Many volunteers have committed to spare time for this, and that's how this thing is running. So we are all grateful to all the team, no doubt about this, but we will try to improve on it wherever possible. So Tirth is spiritual preaching and Tirth Fal is experience of the soul. So you have to take a printout, and while I'm discussing, you can write down good points. So the next time when you read, no, you'll be able to reconnect all these things. Otherwise, what happens, even myself also, I also forget, after a few days, if I read again, then I will have a simple meaning to that, but the depth in which it requires to go, that depth will only come if I write down the words. Okay, then I'm able to connect very soon. So this parambhav and non-parambhav, parambhav and aparambhav, supreme state, non-supreme state, that we are going to discuss. Let's first read further what Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev have to say in the words of different scholars. The first one is the unknown source. Nobody knows who has written these 2-line words, but nevertheless, it's very important. And then subsequently, Parambhav Prakashak Nai Chakra. So that is written by Dr. Sahib. So that is coming up. That also we will read. And yeah, that's what we are going to read the next 2 pages for. Okay. So, Darshiti, you read. If you wish to propagate from there.
Okay. If you wish to propagate the path of the jina, do not abandon either of the 2 viewpoints, Vyavarnai
Yes.
and Nischenai. For without the Vyavarnai, the Tirth, spiritual order, would perish, and without the Nischenai, the Tattva, truth or reality itself, would be destroyed. In this context, the following statement from the Parambhav Prakashak Nai Chakra is worth noting. It has been said that without Vyavarnai, the Tirth, spiritual order, would perish, and without Nischay, the Tattva, truth or reality, would perish. That is, the realization of truth would not occur. Here the word Tirth signifies Updesh, spiritual instruction or preaching, and Tattva signifies the experience of the pure soul, Sudatma Anubhav. The process of instruction is accomplished through exposition, and exposition is the function of Vyavar. Therefore, to regard Vyavar as entirely untrue would result in the extinction of the Tirth. Hence, it is said that the Tirth would perish. The experience of the pure Atma, Suddhatma, arises when one becomes one-pointed, focused, ekagra, in the object and constitutes the subject matter of Nischay Nai. Therefore, it is stated that if Nischay Nai is abandoned, the attainment of reality, Tattva, that is the experience of the Atma, will not occur. All the teachings delivered in the 12 Angs, Chinavani, through Vyavar have as their essence the realization of the self alone. The experience of the self, Atma Anubhuti, is the very essence of the entire doctrine of the Jina, Jin Shashan. Thus, in this Gatha, it has been stated that in the process of spiritual instruction, the Vyavarnai is predominant, whereas in the process of direct experience, the Nischenai is predominant. In the experience of the self, the Vyavarnai naturally becomes secondary. Therefore, how can a seeker of the self who aspires for self-realization consider the Vyavarnai as equally worthy of adoption as the Nischenai? They are well aware of the extent of acceptance of Vyavar as well. When the enlightened ones describe the Vyavarnai as to be abandoned or as untrue, they call it so only in the sense of it being secondary, gone, not in the sense of its total negation, above. This point should be carefully understood. In the first line of the Gatha, it is said, if you wish to propagate the doctrine of the Jina, do not abandon Vyavar and Nischay. The word propagation, pravartan, carries 2 distinct connotations. One refers to Tirth, pravartan, the propagation or continuation of the spiritual order, and the other to Atma Anubhav, self-realization. The meaning of the Tirth Pravartan is to provide continuity to the process of teaching the Jina's Dharma. Therefore, if continuity is to be given to the instructional process of the Jina's Dharma, it can be accomplished only through Vyavar and not through the Nishchay Nai, which is inexpressible or is conveyed through expressions such as Na Tatha, not so. However, the true propagation, pravatna, of the Jina's doctrine is only the experience of the Atma, Atmanubhav. Hence, the propagation of the Jina's doctrine in the form of self-experience, Atmanubhuti, is possible only when one is absorbed in the essence of the subject matter of the Nischay Nai. In such a context, where can there be any place for the Vyavahar Nai, which is merely a mode of discursiveness in instruction? Should I wait or should I
No,
continue?
continue. Two more paragraph.
Okay. The Tirth of Tirthankar Bhagwan Mahavir continues to be operative even today because the pure Atma Vastu expounded in his speech is still experienced by the wise even now. This is a remarkable conjunction of Vyavar and the Nischay. The presence of Vyavar in the form of Deshna, spiritual instruction, that inspires experience together with Nischay in the form of direct realization, Anubhav, constitutes the process of not abandoning either Vyavar or Nischay. It is precisely this directive that is given in the aforesaid Gatha. From another perspective, the term Tirth, spiritual path or order, refers to the manifestation paryai of the moksha marg, and that tri-temporally constant, pure self-entity, Trikali through Nij Sudatma Vastu, upon whose support the mode paryai of the moksha marg manifests is called tattva, truth or reality. Therefore, by not acknowledging Vyavar, the Tirth in the form of the moksha marg would cease, and by not acknowledging the Nischay Nai, the loss of one's own pure self-entity, Nij Sudhatma Tattva, would ensue.
So you see, we need to strike a balance between the two. Both has got its importance in different ways. Okay. Vyavarnai's job is to take you towards the Nischay, and Nischay's job is to discard the Vyavarnai. And that's how they both functions. They both complement each other, and whatever is being said from the real point of view is truth and as it is, and whatever is said from being said from the conventional viewpoint is not the ultimate truth, but it is being said from a certain perspective. So this you should remember, that although both has got its place, the primary function of the Vyavaharnai is to give you the spiritual preachings, okay? And the Nischay's primary function is to make you realize yourself, okay? So without reading or without studying, we cannot realize ourselves. So we need both the things, right? We need Vyavar to understand, and then we have understood to realize ourselves, we need the Nischay, okay? So in the previous verse, it was said that by taking the shelter of the Nischay, you become a right believer. Okay. So to be ourselves a right believer, we need to take the shelter in the Shuddha, okay, pure standpoint, okay. But the process of preaching will run through the Vyavahar Nay. Okay, Nischay depicts the entity as one, undivided, non-differentiated. Okay, and the moment you divide it, you subdivide it, you make distinctions in it, it becomes a Vyavahar. Okay, so Abhed, so Nischay, non-differentiated is real point, real viewpoint, and Bhed, so Vyavahar. The moment you differentiate, it becomes a Vyavahar. So, this was very good. Tirth and Tirth Phal. Tirth is spiritual preaching, and Tirth Phal is the self-experience. Okay. One is the subject of Vyavarnai, another is the subject of Nischay. So, we need both of them. Okay. There could not be any compromise on that. We cannot discard any one of it. But when we are highlighting one thing, the other becomes conventional. That's it. The other becomes secondary and not negated. Okay, that is to be understood. When we highlight one viewpoint, the other becomes secondary and not it is completely absent. That has to be understood. Now, who are the individuals who are situated in the supreme state and who are situated in the non-supreme state? Okay, so this we will understand through three different perspectives. Okay, so you move on to page number 150. Yes, so it starts from middle of this page through a deep study of the entire discussion. If you are really interested, you can catch up the what we have left in between for this entire discussion. We arrive at the conclusion because this is all we are reading out of syllabus. But still, for the purpose of knowledge, I feel it is necessary to highlight the main points. So I'm highlighting, right? So we arrive at the conclusion that Parambhav, supreme state, and Aparambhav, non-supreme state, can be interpreted and applied in the following three ways. In the following three ways. So number 1 point. So we have three different interpretations. Okay. First interpretation, the persons who are in the fourth stage, right believer without restraint, and the person who are on the fifth stage, they are considered to be in the supreme state because they have realized their soul, so they are in the supreme state. Then who will be in the non-supreme state, Darshit ji? Yes.
Non-supreme would be Mithyatva stage.
Yes,
So
ignorant.
stage one.
Ignorant one.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So this is the first interpretation. The second, those who are in the fourth, fifth, sixth stage and they are in the auspicious mode, Shubh Bhav. So they are in the non-supreme state. And those are on the fourth, fifth, sixth stage, but they are in the pure state, Shuddhopyog. So they are in the supreme state. And the third criteria in that is all the souls who are seventh and above. Seventh and above is a state of pure state, Shuddhopyog, self-realization state. Okay. Seventh spiritual stage and above is only meditation stage. Okay, where you are absorbed in yourself, you are in the experience mode. Okay, so they all belong to the supreme state. So in the second interpretation, two people are in the supreme state, right? First one is those who are in the fourth, fifth, sixth, but right now they are in the pure state. And the other part is seventh and above, all souls are in the supreme state because they are in the realization mode. Okay. So this is the second interpretation. And of course, the aparam bhav is again those who are enlightened one, but at the fourth stage, fifth stage, sixth stage, with auspicious state right now. They are the non-supreme state. Darshit ji, you repeat. Who is in the non-supreme state in the second interpretation?
So those in the fourth, fifth, and sixth stage.
Right. But at right now they are in auspicious state or pure state?
No, in the auspicious state, fourth, fifth, and sixth.
Yes, auspicious state. Okay. Now the second part, who are in the supreme state? Second interpretation, same interpretation.
So fourth, fifth, and sixth
Who
who are not in auspicious state
then
or
they are
inauspicious.
They are in they are in pure state now.
Pure state, right?
Shuddhopyog.
Shuddhopyog.
Yes, Shuddhopyog. Okay. And the second category is seventh and above.
And above.
Because all are in pure state, right? So we
Yeah.
can summarize this in this way, that those who are in the auspicious state, fourth, fifth, and sixth, they are non-supreme state, and those who are in the pure state, fourth, fifth, sixth, and above, they are in the supreme state. Now, the third criteria, okay, third way of interpretation, those who are up to 12th stage, okay, those who are up to 12th stage, that means beginning from 4th to 12th, okay, they are in the non-supreme state. And those who are in 13th and above are in the supreme state. Okay, so three kinds of interpretations. Okay, so aparam bhav, it's written. So the aparam bhav is 1 to 12 stage, not 4th to 12 stage. You cut it down. 1 to 12 stage is all aparam bhav, and 13th and above are supreme state. Clear? Yeah, clear? Okay. So now we will move to the next kalash. So after verse number 12, we have 4 kalash, line to line, next to next. Okay. Page number 156. So our discussion on the supreme, what is supreme state and what is non-supreme state, that is still pending. Okay. So this will come in this kalash, then we will see it. Okay. But that question is not answered right now. Okay. It will be answered in detail in the 6th kalash. Okay. So this kalash we start on page number 156. Priyanka, you read. The first 3 kalashes.
Jai Jinendra sir. The first 3 kalashes serve as the Manglacharan as statements of intent regarding the composition of the Atmakhyati. We have already examined that these at the beginning. After the initial 12 gathas, there now appear 4 kalash, of which one serves as a conclusion to those 12 gathas, while the remaining 3 act as Uttanika, that is the introductory prelude to the succeeding gatha. Please scroll down.
So I will read for you, or you will read?
Sir, Ubhay Nae, Virod, Dwamsini, Syat.
So I'll read it. You will find it difficult because it is a transliteration. But from the Hindi, the pronunciation would be clear. So we will read the Hindi part only. उभय नयों में जो विरोध है उसके नाशक स्यादवादमयी जिन वचनों में जो रमते हैं मोह वमन कर अनय अखंडित परम ज्योतिमय स्वयं शीघ्र ही समयसार में वे रमते हैं. So this is Kalash number 4, the Hindi text that I have read. Now you read the meaning. Those men
who delight in the words of the Jina, marked by Syadvad, that is the doctrine of conditional predication, which destroy the apparent conflict that arises in the exposition of the 2 viewpoints, that is Nishchayanyay and Vyavaharnyay, and who, through their own effort, have expelled Mithyatva, such men immediately behold, that is directly experience, the supreme radiant reality, the Bhagwan Atma, which is none other than the Samaysaar, that is eternal, beginningless, and undivided by any false viewpoint, that is Kunai.
Continue.
In the aforesaid Kalash, it has been stated that those who delight in the words of the jinn experience the Atma immediately. Here, delighting in the words of the Jina does not merely mean reading or reciting the Jinvani. Rather, it means establishing one's own identity in the Shuddha Nyaya, expounded in the Jinvani. That is, in the self Atma, which is eternal across the three times, that is Traikalik Dhruv, constant, indivisible, non dual, and one's own true nature. To recognize that very being as the self and to remain absorbed and steady in it. For this alone is the true process of self realization or Atmanubhav.
Continue.
Pandey
Rajmalji.
Pandey Rajmalji in his Kalash Tika explains the expression Jina Vakasi Ramanate.
Jin vachasi ramante. C is cha here in diacritics. Yeah.
Okay. Jin Vachansi Ramante. That means to delight in the words of the Jina as follows. Through the divine sound, Divyadhvani, the pure soul substance that is worthy of acceptance is expounded. Towards that, one cultivates attentive inclination, faith, and awareness. That is Ruchi, Shraddha, Pratiti. Explanation. One directly experiences the pure soul substance. This itself is called inclination, faith, and awareness. The intended meaning is as follows. Speech is matter, that is Pudgal. By developing inclination towards speech, attainment of one's own nature does not occur. Therefore, the verbal expression of the object that is worthy of acceptance, that is Upade, the fruit is obtained only by experiencing that object.
Yeah. Next paragraph.
With the intention of one's own spiritual welfare, to engage in the Jinvani with deep interest through activities such as self-study, swadhyay, reading and teaching, writing and having it written, to reflect upon its meaning and churn it through contemplation, to engage in mutual discussion and question-answer exchanges, this is conventionally being delighted in the Jina's words, Jinvachan, and to experientially realize the soul substance that is Atmavastu, that is the subject of the Shuddha Nyaya, expounded in the Jinvani. This, from the real viewpoint, is delighting in the Jina's words.
Stop. So, delighting in the preachings of the jinn, okay? Delighting in the preachings of the Jina is what? It has been explained in two ways. One from the conventional viewpoint and one from the real viewpoint. So, from the conventional viewpoint is to develop a deep interest through activities such as self-study, swadhyay, reading and teaching, writing and having it written, to reflect upon its meaning and churn it through contemplation, to engage in mutual discussion and question-answer exchanges. This is all conventionally, okay? And when you do such things, you automatically come to a conclusion. And that conclusion leads to realization. And that is called the real point of view. Okay. So from conventional, you do all these things. And then the result of this is that you get to the self-experience. You realize yourself. Then it will be called delighting in Jina's words from the real point of view is your self-realization, self-experience, Atmanubhav. Okay, realize the soul. It's all the same. Okay, so Jin Vachasi Ramante, delight in the preachings of Jina. Okay, is expressed. Delight in the words of the Jina has been expressed in two ways. one from the conventional viewpoint and one from the real viewpoint. But the last line of the original verse, if you see,
Plus.
uh, that's it, the previous page, 156, last paragraph. We'll come to the, this one. So we will read this. This is the part of only syllabus, 5 lines. From here you have to understand and give answers in the objectives. Those men who delight in the words of the Jina, Jin Vachasi Ramante, mark. So how is the Jin Vachan? They are marked by Syadvat. How do you identify this is a Jin Vachan? The I can say lead is given here. It is always marked by Syadvad. Now, what is this Syadvad? The Syadvad is the doctrine of conditional predication. In other words, from a certain perspective. Okay. So that means Syadvad. Syadvad means Syad means kisi apeksha se, Vad means कहना. So kisi apeksha se कहना is Syadvad. So our Jinwani, the total Jinwani is written in this format, Syadvad format. Every statement is from a certain perspective. And if you understand that perspective, then you will be able to capture the real meaning of that. Okay. Otherwise, you will falter. Okay. So, Syadvad is doctrine of conditional predication. Every statement is a conditional predication. Okay. Which destroy the apparent conflict that arises in the exposition of the two viewpoints. Okay, the real viewpoint and the conventional viewpoint, and who through their own effort, Purshat, have expelled mithyatva, delusion. Such man immediately behold, that is directly experience. So here the word directly experience is mentioned by Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. So which meaning would be correct for the Jin Vachansi Ramante? Delight in the preachings of Jina. Which meaning you will take? Conventional one or the real one?
Real one, self-realization.
Yes, because it is written by Acharya. Those person directly experience the supreme radiant reality. Such man immediately behold, that is directly experience. So here they are highlighting the experience. That means you have to take the real viewpoint meaning. Okay. The supreme radiant reality, the Bhagwan Atma, who is none other than the Samaysaar. Okay, eternal, beginningless, and undivided by any false viewpoint. Okay, so this much is the syllabus, but we also studied the conventional and the real viewpoint. Now, we can move straightway to page number 160. Yeah.
Sir,
Yeah.
sorry, sir. Can I ask you a question on the previous topic?
Yes.
So, sir, like, up until this point, before this syllabus, we were saying, like, contemplation, like Swadhyay is basically reading, contemplating, asking,
Yes.
and so forth. So, now, as per this, if I'm understanding this correct, it is called conventional and it is not the real way of, like, Swadhyay. Not Swadhyay, like, it's not the real path to experiencing bliss.
No. What here it says, this explanation is about the statement Jin Vasansi Ramante,
Yeah.
delight of the Jina words. Okay, that
Yeah.
has been expressed in two ways. One from the conventional viewpoint. So what you would take as a conventional viewpoint? This Swadhyay, this contemplation, this decision making, this will all come under the conventional part. And the self-realization that will be a result of all these efforts will be from the real viewpoint. So this is the meaning of the word jin vachansi ramante. Okay. So
So before we were saying like, all the kind of like
effort.
rituals, like, like just going to the Jin Mandir, just doing
Yes,
some
yes.
puja, like, bhakti, vachan, those were
Conventionally, or it's
conventional.
okay. Conventional, all these are a part of conventional, but the
Okay.
real viewpoint is, so if you consider all these aspects, then the last part, that is the decision making part, that
Yeah.
I would consider the ultimate from here. And the result of that decision making is the self realization. Okay. So you run through this, all this, going to the temple, attending shivirs, doing swadhyay, contemplating, and then churning, all these are conventional steps only, right? But ultimately, you have to come to a conclusion, decision making, right? So decision, up to decision making also, we would consider as the real effort. But what is the result of that effort is the self-realization. Okay. So self-realization
And self-realization cannot happen through the both of all these methods.
through the,
We had that example of the boat. Like, boat is a conventional viewpoint, and when you get to the destination, you leave the boat.
so see, conventional viewpoint and real viewpoint are ways of expressing. They are not a particular matter or particular object. Okay. They are ways of expressing. So if you want to cross the river, you have to board the boat. Okay.
Yeah.
And when you reach the other side, you have to leave the boat. So the boat acts as a conventional viewpoint. Okay. And when you reach the destination, you have to leave the boat. So the moment you leave the boat, you are onto the real viewpoint. Okay. So this is how it is expressed. So where is your problem exactly? I am not understanding. What is not clear
Because
to you?
I'm trying to understand, because before I thought like the real viewpoint was Swadhyay, Vachan,
No
like
problem. We can
Mandir
change
and
always because
Puja.
these are statements. Now, if you say Swadhyay as real viewpoint, okay, then
Yeah.
what would be the conventional viewpoint?
Sir, like puja and like,
Yes, Dev Shastra
chanting.
Guru, right?
Yeah.
Reaching towards true God, true scriptures, true monks would be conventional. Swadhyay would be real. Now, if I say Swadhyay as conventional, then what would be the real?
Self-realization.
No, that you have gone 2 steps ahead. So, next step is contemplation.
Contemplation, okay.
Now, if I take contemplation as conventional, then decision making as real. If I take decision making as conventional, then self-realization is real. Okay.
Okay.
So these are different steps. The words conventional and real viewpoint, these are way of expressions. Okay. So that it can be expressed anywhere. So recently we saw 3 interpretations, right? Parambhav and Aparambhav, supreme state and non-supreme state. So these 3 interpretations are 3 way of expressing the same thing. So there is nothing wrong in it, right? We should know all the methodology of expression, and then whatever is required at that point of time, you apply that particular interpretation. Okay. So uh, keep free yourself that this is like this only. No, everything is relative. Everything is syad vad. It is being said from a certain perspective. So if you understand that perspective, Swadhyay can also be a real viewpoint, right? But you have to understand the perspective, because Dev Shastra Guru is conventional, so Swadhyay is real. Swadhyay is conventional, so contemplation is real. Contemplation is conventional, so decision making is real. Decision making is conventional, so self-realization is real. Now, if I make self-realization as conventional, then what would you suggest as real?
Liberation.
Liberation. Or you can add one step in between, omniscience.
Okay.
So these are different ways of expressing. Okay.
Me sounds like, sir, then as we progress through the ladder,
Mhm.
like the previous step, which we
Yeah, they
hold
all
as a
become
goal,
conventional.
they become conventional
Yes,
progressively.
yes. So in the 8 nayas that I taught you, the moment we move to the next nay, this becomes Vyavhar.
Yeah.
So 4 Vyavhar nay and then 4 Nischay nay. So out of 4 Nischay nay divisions, 5th division, when you move to 6th, it becomes a Vyavhar. When you reach the 7th, it becomes a Vyavhar. When you reach the 8th, 7th becomes a Vyavhar. So that was all mentioned in the chart. You can revisit that chart. I think that's a master chart, the whole life you will be enjoying through that. If you understand that chart properly, you will never have any doubts anywhere. You will be able to navigate the whole Jinvani, because Jinvani is written in a certain perspective. Syad Vad. Okay. So everywhere you have to apply these principles.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Good. Page number 160. Darshit is right over there. So we will start the Kalash number 5. The essence of the entire statement. 1 minute. Yeah. So from there you read the essence of the entire statement. Okay. Who will read? Subha, you read. Are you there?
Yes, Ji. From where, Ji? In the essence.
Yes, the essence of the entire statement.
I didn't notice that one at the time. Page number?
160.
Sorry, Ji. Right, I was listening to the previous one, but I didn't listen. Like 160.
It's in the screen also. You can read from the
Yeah.
screen also, no problem.
The essence of entire statement is that Syadvad alone is such an unfailing means by which the true nature of a substance, though appearing mutually contradictory, becomes naturally and clearly comprehensive. Thus, this
Comprehensible. Okay. So Priyanka,
comprehensible.
you understood, no? In these 2 lines, whatever we discussed just now has been summarized. The essence of the entire statement is that Syadvat, that is doctrine of conditional predication. Okay. Conditional predication, or from a certain perspective. Okay. Alone is such an unfailing means by which the true nature of a substance, though appearing mutually contradictory, becomes naturally and clearly comprehensible. Continue.
Thus, this constitutes a prologue of the 12 Katha. Now, the Acharya, giving primacy to the pure standpoint, Shuddhanaya, explains the nature of definitive right belief. Under the predominance of Asuddhanaya, faith in the Jiva and other Tattva is described as right belief, whereas here it is stated that right belief arises by knowing those very Jiva and related Tattva through the Suddhanaya. The commentator indicates this through 3 verses. In the first of this, he says that although the Vyavaharnai has been described as having some practical utility, even so, it is not something that possesses real substantiality. Although it is true that for those who
So
have
I will read the Hindi one. Only 2 minutes it will take. 1 minute it will take. But at least we will know that we have moved to the 5th verse. Okay. So I'm reading it in Hindi. Just give me a minute. Yeah. ज्यों दुर्बल को लाठी है हस्तवलांबन उपयोगी व्यवहार सभी को अपरम पद में, पर उपयोगी नहीं रंच भी उन लोगों को जो रमते हैं परम अर्थ चिन्मय चिदगन में. Yeah, now you say the meaning.
Although it is true that for those who have just set foot on the first stage, the Vyavaharnai serves as a handhold, a support to lean upon, yet for those who inwardly perceive the supreme reality, which is nothing but the marvel of pure consciousness, who have faith in it, who become absorbed in it, and who thereby attain the state of right conduct. For them, this Vyavahana holds no utility whatsoever. In the 12th Kada, this subject concerning the supreme state and the non-supreme state has already been explained in detail. Therefore, there is no need to write anything further here. It is sufficient to say that in this verse, by using the term Astavalamba, handhold, the proper and the situational usefulness of the Vyavahane has been indicated. And by the word Hanta, alas, regret has been expressed over the dependence upon it. A stick in the hand is not a symbol of strength, but of weakness. In the initial stage, owing to one's own incapacity, one has to take the support of the Vyavahane. Yet, that is by no means a matter of good fortune for us. Just as a person, weakened after an illness, has to take the support of a stick for walking due to physical weakness, yet his inner wish remains, when will I be free from this dependence on the stick? It does not desire that he should have to rely on this support forever. In the same way, even while taking the support of Vyavahar, a seeker of the self, Atmati, does not wish to depend upon that support forever. His only longing is, when will I be free from this dependence? And when shall I abide within my own self? Thus, this very sentiment has been expressed in the said verse.
Stop.
Now,
So now the sixth number, Kalash number 6 will come. So in the fifth, very simple, that the person who have reached the supreme state, they don't require the Vyavarna. But those who have not reached that state, for them as a support, this Vyavarna is purposeful. Okay. Then they give an example that a person who is not able to walk freely, he needs some support. Okay. But when he is good, his health is good, then he does not take that stick. He does not require that stick. Okay. So in the same way, Vyavarna is required when you don't reach up to the supreme state. But once you have reached the supreme state, then the Vyavarna is also discarded. Okay. So this is more or less the same meaning that we had learned in the 12th Gatha. But 12th Gatha was written by Acharya Amritchandra Dev, and to give a further weightage to it, Acharya Amritchandra Dev prepared a kalash on that. Although Acharya Amritchandra Dev already written a commentary on Gatha number 12, but still he chose to write another kalash for that, just to highlight that statement. Okay. So it has not to be completely discarded, the conventional viewpoint. It has got its own importance. It has got its own place in the path of liberation. In the earlier also, we saw that the preachings is carried out by the conventional viewpoint, and the self-realization is carried out by the real viewpoint. So we need both the things. Okay. Without conventional viewpoint, preachings will not be there, and without real viewpoint, experience will not be there. So we need both. We need to strike a balance between the both. Okay. So we will read the sixth one. We'll make a beginning, but explanation will be done tomorrow. But anyway, we would read we still have 7 minutes to go. So we will read now in the following kalash, the nature of Nischay Samyaktva is described. So these words are very, very powerful. In Hindi, it's so appealing, but in English also, with little bit of practice, you will be very attracted to these words, in the kalash. So this kalash number 6, I'm just first reading in Hindi. and then we will read in the meaning in the English. Yeah. नियत है जो स्वयं के एकत्व में नय शुद्ध से, वह ज्ञान का घन पिंड पूर्ण पृथक है पर द्रव्य से। नव तत्व की संतति तज बस एक यह अपनाइए, इस आत्मा का दर्शन आत्मा ही चाहिए. Okay, now this meaning in English. With the Shuddhanay. Shuddhanay means Param Shuddha Nischay, supreme real point of view. Number 8. Okay. And you know what is the number 8? It is the object of vision. Okay. The pure soul. What all we strive for as a seeker, what we want. We want to just focus on this object of vision. Param Shuddha Nischay Nai ka Vishay. Shuddhatma, Bhagwan Atma, Supreme God. Okay. Okay. With the Shuddhanay, to perceive the Bhagwan Atma. Okay. With the Shuddhanay, to perceive the Bhagwan Atma, who after who I am pausing, there are 5 points mentioned here. You just mark it out, and I would like to remember it. If you are able to remember it, you will really enjoy it, because these 5 words, you keep on repeating it, and you will see that Bhagwan Atma giving a glimpse in your own modification, and you have to just identify, I am this, and that's all. Self-realization is done. Okay. So these are the 5 sentences. First point, who is a solid mass of knowledge. I'll also mention the Hindi word, Gyan ke Ghan Pind. Okay. Solid mass. So, when we talk of mass, it has got length, breadth, and depth. Okay. So when we say mass, it is cubic. It is called cubic foot. Okay. So it has got length, breadth, and depth. Okay. So our pure soul, Bhagwan Atma, is a solid mass of knowledge. Now, by saying a solid mass, what Acharya tries to explain to us is that pure soul is such an entity that nobody can enter it. Not karma can enter it. And Pujya Swamiji, in his lectures used to give an example. During the winter, the ghee freezes, and it freezes to that level that even if you take what you use in the kitchen, tavitha, you take a tavitha and try to break free into it, it doesn't enter. Although the tavitha gets mold, okay, but it never enters that ghee, because of cold, it has frozen to such a level that you cannot break it. So similarly, our pure soul is such a solid mass that not whoever comes in contact with it gets destroyed, but nothing happens to the pure soul. It remains unaffected. Okay. So pure soul, first statement is, pure soul is a solid mass of knowledge. Okay. Gyan ke ghan pind. Okay. Second, complete within himself. Swayam mein paripurna. Complete within himself. Just imagine you are complete within himself. Now what you want? No desire will crop up if you consider yourself complete within himself. I am complete in myself. Something extra will come from outside and I will be complete. No. I am complete within myself. I am complete within myself. Here they are expressing as a soul. So they are saying complete within himself. But you have to change it to complete within myself, because we want ourselves to be placed in that position. Number 3, pervading his own attributes and modes. Okay, अपने गुण पर्यायों में व्याप्त. Vyapt means pervading, spreading. Okay, so pervading in his own attributes and modes. I don't go outside my modification. My entity is consist of substance, attributes, and modification. Okay, and I pervade in my own attributes and modes. 4th point, established in oneness. एकत्व में नियत. Established in oneness. I don't become two. I don't connect with anybody. I'm always in myself, established in oneness. And the very subject of the pure viewpoint. Now comes the 5th point. As distinct from all other substances, pardravyas and their states, unke bhavo, is nischay samyak darshan, real right belief. This is the best definition of real right belief. In the words of Acharya Amrit Chandra Dev. Now further what he says, just 1 minute we'll complete. To know and feel this very soul is I, or such a soul am I, or I am, and to have belief in it, that alone is called real samyak darshan, real right belief. Here it is written perception, you write as belief. Okay, cut down the perception word. Here darshan means belief. Okay, such is the understanding of the wise. Now these are wise people, enlightened ones. Therefore the enlightened ones cherish the sentiment that renouncing the framework of the 9 tattvas, may we attain only this one, the pure self. Okay, just further read further, and tomorrow we will catch up with this verse number 6 again. I'll explain each word of it, and then we will move on to that. This is Nischay Samyak Darshan. Then what is Vyavhar Samyak Darshan? For that also there are 5 points that we will discuss tomorrow.
Sir, sorry to disturb you. That perception, belief you said, no?
Yes.
That Shraddha is correct?
Yeah,
Shraddha?
Shraddha is correct. That's
Okay.
why we put it at belief. Perception
okay.
is used in the sense of Samanya Avlokan,
Yes, yes,
Darshan.
yes. No, sir, Shraddha is correct. Okay, sir. Dhanyavad.
Yes. Okay, so we'll catch up tomorrow. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना 7 बार है. 9 times नमोकार मंत्र.